We have really great sponsors like the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. And if you would like to sponsor the show, we will promote you on it. Today we have the Morning Buzz going on, and the buzz today will be about Trump and
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. Have they made up?
Correct, and the summit just yesterday, correct?
I know, so maybe they're friends again, I'm not sure. So we have Manny Medrano with us today from Medrano Carlton. Thank you for being on.
My pleasure.
So what do you think about this whole relationship between Trump and Ryan?
Where to start? First of all, let me say I'm 60 years old. I've voted in every presidential election. Hands down, this is the most remarkable election I've ever been a witness to.
It really is.
So let me just start by saying that, well, you know, there was an effort to make peace yesterday. This was a very important meeting between Ryan and Trump because before the meeting, Ryan went out publicly and said, Trump, not really my guy.
I found that really interesting, too, that he would actually put himself out there. We're not really for him, but we know we can't really be against him because that'll ruin our party, and how can we do it otherwise? We're going to have to figure out how to make nice, but just in 45 minutes, huh?
Yeah, well, the meeting went forward, and what I found very interesting is not so much the meeting, but what came out of it. Let me explain. They come out of the meeting, they have some broad generalized statement between the two of them, and it basically said, well, we talked about a lot of different things. There seems to be some points of unity, and then we'll see. So Ryan is still not come out and supported Trump, but at the end of the day, here's Manny Medrano's prediction.
Great.
Ryan absolutely, unequivocally is going to support Trump. He has no choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And Trump is Trump. He really doesn't care. You know, he marches to his own beat, so we'll see what's going to happen next.
So I wonder who is not going to want to support him, who will publicly say through the election that they don't want to support Trump.
Well, I think at the end of the day with the GOP, it's a desire to have a modicum of unity. And with all candor, by the way, I'm a moderate Democrat in the spirit of full disclosure, but I've never seen a party so dysfunctional and ununified as the current GOP party. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, for what it's worth, Trump is here today solely because the Republican Party as it stands now has not been addressing the needs of the common man. Mm-hmm. All right? It's my belief and my perception that Joe Sixpack, okay, blue-collar voter in the Midwest, feels that the Republican Party currently caters to the elite, to the rich, do everything you can to cut taxes for the rich, but the guy lower on the totem pole, they got to pay, you know, their taxes. So it's that discontent that has led to our finding where we are today with Trump.
And I think we also have the religious conservative that are make up a lot of the Republican Party as well. But I think as a percentage, we have fewer registered Republicans in the country than we do Democrats. Yeah. And I don't think that the Republican Party has necessarily done a great job at trying to recruit young people. And what are your thoughts?
Now, actually, if I may ask, with everything that was happening, especially leading up to the summit, with Paul Ryan, would you say that this was all like more of a negative shade on him because of the way that he was feeling about it and his thoughts and opinion leading into the summit? Well,
he's taken some hits. Let's be very clear about that because he has not come out full bore to support Trump. He has taken some hits. The best example of that is Sarah Palin. She has now gone publicly and said, I'm going to vote for the guy who's running against Paul Ryan at his next election, that vocal. Paul Ryan is a loser and he's going down.
Correct. Now, his name is also Paul, correct? I believe.
Oh yes, I think it is, and I forgot the opponent's last name, and I apologize for that. But Sarah Palin is now, you know, she's a Trump guy. She announced early on that she was supporting his candidacy. But consider the source. Sarah Palin, with all due respect, is crazy. I mean, she's a crazy person, so I'm not sure she has that much pull as she did a few years ago. All right, but I got to tell you, I just had this conversation with my two teenage sons, age 16 and 19, and I told them, you have no idea how exciting it is to be alive today, to be a witness to this. And at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer that we need two strong, compelling political parties. Because if you have just one, it runs roughshod over the other. And you need that kind of conflict, that adversarial element to it. So I hope at the end of the day that the GOP heals itself. Mm-hmm. And that the GOP is able to get their act together because it's a stronger America when you have two vibrant parties, in my view.
And that can debate in a healthy way too. It's just been so divisive and so ugly for the last, 12 years or better.
Well, Frank, it's the anger and the anxiety and the name calling. It's awful.
It is.
It's appalling to watch. You know, I hate to see young people watch this stuff today because we've reached a level of base, inappropriate conduct that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. But that's where we are now. And you know what I find very interesting, because in my opinion, it's going to be Trump versus Hillary.
Sure.
And how is Hillary going to deal with those kind of personal attacks? Is she going to descend to his level? Does she need to do that to prevail? Or is she going to stay above the fray? I don't know which way to go, to be honest with you, because we're now so used to Trumpisms and his personal attacks that I just don't think that you can do the presidential election without the Democrat also going toe-to-toe at that same level.
Right, and do you see some criminal aspects in some of these different things? I find it really interesting as far as Hillary's situation coming up, and you are a criminal attorney, defense attorney. We'll have to have you back on, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about your position as a criminal lawyer.
Hillary will not be criminally charged for the email fiasco, don't worry. I don't worry about it. I don't see that happening. But the government does have to do its investigation, and let's be honest, she was remarkably stupid for not using the appropriate private secure email as part of her job as Secretary of State. But be that as it may, I don't think it's going to result in criminal charges. Manny
Medrano, thank you for being on. Will you come back on and do another Morning
absolutely.
Buzz with us? Great.
You better invite me back.
Thank you. Sounds great. Coming up, another celebrity joins us.
And if you listen to the Power Voices radio station, he is a familiar voice that we'll have later on today, is former Ram and Raider running back Greg Bell.
I can't wait.
Next.
Yeah, can't wait.